Hey everyone, welcome back to another Digital Gate Studios production. Jesse, I would ask, what do we got? But I think I've got a good idea.
It's the big bad, the one that everyone's been waiting for. I can say that we've done a lot of Diaboromon videos, and none of them ever include new Diaboromon stuff, other than pieces, black pieces that you just find and put in there to hopefully for the fans, you know? Because Bandai just doesn't give the fans what they want. Everybody wants Diaboromon pieces, and oh my god, we finally got one. We haven't had a new Diaboromon piece since... We haven't had EX1. Yeah, there was a promo Kurosari, the decoy one. Like it's
slim pickings.
Slim pickings for sources.
The best Diaboromon card in recent memory has been BT11 Mamemon.
Yeah. And it's still in here because they haven't given us a good Infomon yet. All right. Let's just jump into it.
It's Diaboromon.
It's Diaboromon. Yeah. So you guys are gonna see a lot of old cards, but we have some new ones too. Let's jump into the eggs for this version of the deck. I know it's always a hotly debated topic. For this version of the deck, we are going to be running the power instead of the draw. There is quite a bit of new draw in the deck, which you'll see later with the options. So we're going for power, and obviously the new card in the set is the ace. And you don't want it to die. You don't want it to die to swinging, at least. Let your opponent deal with it how they want to deal with it. But you don't want to swing for 11k into security. That's absolutely terrifying. This card alone will get you up there to 13. Plus, we'll boost it a little bit more. So let's jump into some Caramons. So best searcher, search 5, grab an unidentified, grab a Sonata. Really good.
Perfect.
What more can you ask for?
Give us an alt-art for that.
Give us an alt-art for it. Come on. Worst part about the card is there's no inheritable whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's okay. Sometimes you do have to hard evo into that. And just, you know, that's what you get in your opening hand. That's what you get. The next Caramon is going to be the draw. When you play a Diaboromon, or something with the same name, which is typically always a Diaboromon, not once per turn. So this deck will draw you a lot of cards once you get going, and you really have to have faith in that. If you're missing a card or two, if you can Digivolve and make 3 or 4 tokens, just you'll probably more than likely find what you're looking for. So really good. And then to round things out, so we run 4 and 4, and then we also run 3 of the power Caramons. For every other Digimon, this Digimon gains 1k. So you pair those together, you're typically around 15, 16k with your Diaboromon swinging in. If
you get to 16 or 15k, it's not going to die to a lot in security. Pretty relevant threshold.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it for rookies. We run 11. I mean, it's Caramons all day long. You can run a couple gimmicky ones.
You were running the
Monodramon, to find tamers. We have other ways of getting tamers now, so we can finally get rid of all that EX3 stuff. Yeah, it's okay. We can finally move on. Well, let's get into our level 4s, which are obviously going to be all Kurosarimons. So we're going to play this one. Obviously, it's great. Plays a Sonata if you don't have one. Gives all of your tokens Rush. With the Kurosarimons, it's really hard because you really want the stack for what you're trying to do, whether it's go big, go wide. You're trying to counter what your opponent's strategy is. If I'm going to play a big blocker, you have to deal with it. Well, then you're going to want to go wide. But my advice when you're playing this is just Digivolve. Don't wait. Don't try and find the ideal level 4.
No.
Because you're never going to get it. So that's actually one of the hardest things about playing Diaboromon is the 4s, because you want your tokens to have Rush, but also keeping it your turn or possibly netting memory from this one is absolutely, it's a tough choice.
Yeah.
This will also let you play your ace card for 5 if you want to, if you already have a Diaboromon out, which is pretty cool. Good card. And then we do play 2 more Kurosarimons. There is the other one. There's the EX1 one, but I think since we're rolling with the ace, we want to keep it safe if we can. So I kind of went back and forth. You guys can adjust your ratios. I run 2 of the decoy.
Yeah.
Because if they're just going to Gaia Force your Diaboromon for 4, because they're gonna overflow 4.
Nuke a token.
Yeah, let's just nuke a token instead. So, and also my favorite part about this card is it's just a 4 cost to hard play, and this deck will get you a lot of memory once you get your Sonata set up. So we do run the old BT11 Mamemon. This card is good in this format because this deck is almost monocolor. So that was what I was really the most excited part for me about the new Ace card is that it's black.
Yeah.
So we have
none of these white Diaboromons.
Yeah. So when you look at it, I mean, I guess we'll get there in a minute, but this negates kind of the use of the EX1. Let's turn everything into blockers because every time you create something by an effect, you get to make something a blocker, which is really good. And then we run 4 of the EX1 Inframon. This one makes your tokens 5k, which beats over a lot of stuff. Gets through a lot of checks. It does a lot of fun things. And also when your opponent digivolves into a level 5 or higher, which if it was 6 or higher, I would still use this card because it nets you a memory, so it makes things more expensive. Negate some of those training card reductions.
People, and I know this happened to me. There's not a lot of Diaboromon around me, so it's like, oh wow, I have to think about my combo just a little bit longer.
Yeah, let's screw up some math, you know. Okay, now we'll get into the meat and potatoes.
The big dog.
The big dog. We'll get into the Diaboromon Ace. So, if you don't know what this card does, it digivolves for 3, makes a token. When a Digimon is created by an effect, you get to pop a body, small body. But for every token you have, you get to increase that number. So, it's really good on your opponent's turn if they hit like a catastrophe cannon or something because it's all turns, once per turn. That part's good, but the most important part about this card is it is black. So you can search it, you can training into it, you can do all kinds of stuff to find it. The most important part though is that it kind of takes over for those white ones because the original one makes a token when it attacks. This does that. And then the BT5 one makes one when it digivolves. This also does that. Yeah. So you can evo for 3, make a token, make as many with the sonatas as you want, gain memory, draw cards, and then when it swings, it makes one more. Gains you memory, draws you a card, does all kinds of stuff. So, really strong. There's not a whole lot of use in hard playing it. You can if you're in a pickle, but your opponent's typically going to have a way to disrupt it or kill it on your next turn. So, but that's why we run the decoy. It's just a lot of fun. Just what I always end up doing is just don't forget to blast. You can blast.
Don't forget to blast.
That's the most important part. You get so caught up on
They try to swing over your Mamemon or your Inframon. Bang.
Really strong. Next up, we are sticking with the black theme for the deck. So that's kind of where we wanted to stick with for a couple different reasons we'll get into in a minute. So there's only one other black Diaboromon, and it's one that has been kind of controversial. Do you use it in the deck? Do you play one of in a lot of decks? Play 2 of in this deck because it is really strong in the format. It is going to be, and I can never decide what artwork to go with. It is the promo. So for every Diaboromon there is, this gets Sec +1. Another reason you want to go power because you want to be able to
do 4 checks at 16.
Yes. And if you're not familiar with this card, it counts itself. So it's 2 checks just on its face, even without anything else. So really strong. Once again, black. Now we'll get into the level 7s. The only non-black card in the deck, I thought about taking it out. My first version of the deck had it taken out, but I think that with Shine Gray Ruin mode, with all of the burst modes, with all the stuff that's in the format, all the crazy, Omnimon, X Antibody, like everything in Black or Gray, Armageddon is still a really, really good. If it's not your blitz for game, it's still very preventative on your opponents because if you don't know what it does, it stops all of their level 7 when digivolving effects. So pretty brutal card. If you have it on the board and your opponent doesn't know what it does, be nice and remind them before they commit the memory. Spend 7 to go into a level 7, draw a card, and then they're stuck.
And then turn pass.
And then turn pass and you win. But yeah, delete a Diaboromon, whether it's a token. I don't recommend deleting your overflow Diaboromon to play it, but stick with a token. Sometimes it's really fun to swing for 5 checks with this Diaboromon and then delete it and swing for game.
There you go.
Fun. Yeah, really good. And then other level 7, it is a black deck with black level 6s. We're playing a Death X.
Hard to go wrong.
It's hard. I mean, I'm a firm believer that 1 kind of goes in every deck, almost every deck. It's just use it as an option card if you want. Really good.
Any consideration for Quartzmon in this build?
Thought about it. I had it in my last build. Shout out to the last video because it is unidentified. You can search it, and it does trigger your Sonata in trash. It's totally an honorable mention. It's a very good card. This is more of a swing at you kind of thing rather than control your whole board kind of match. Because a lot of times if you put a Quartzmon on top of an ace card, they'll find an out to it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're overflowing and just dead.
Yeah.
So it is good, though. I'm not going to lie. That is a good card you can put in. And for whatever reason, it is unidentified. I don't know how the lore works, but you can search it with the Caramon. It's a green card. So it disrupts a little bit of what we do. Let's get into Tamers. You have to play 4 Sonatas.
We're waiting on that new Sonata.
Give it to me as a promo box topper at this point. I don't care.
Anything.
Anything. We need
a crumb.
We have like 12 Toccatos. I only have 2 Sonata. I only have 1 Sonata. Come on, guys. And so sticking with the black theme of the deck, this is almost guaranteed to be a 3-cost memory setter. Black Izzy, always good. Also out of security, gains a memory, so it can really disrupt like some Royal Knights matchups, stuff where they typically attack you at 0. It's really fun when they hit this. You just don't want to see the Armageddon in the top 3.
Yeah.
But other than that, you are golden.
Could also rearrange a Sonata so you can get it with the Mamimon trigger.
Yes, absolutely. And now, I know you're thinking like, oh, he just put 4 Diaboromon Ace in the deck, called it a new deck.
Well,
we have training cards. So this is another one of those decks that you don't typically hard play stuff left and right or anything like that. This is a digivolving deck where you're building your stack. And it's really fun to just stay in raising with your level 4 and just stack training cards and know that you can get into a Diaboromon
for 0.
And there's nothing they can do about it. I mean, every Evo is going to cost 1, this will cost 1, and then Diaboromon will cost you 1. So for 3 memory, which, you know, the Sonatas will give you a memory for if you have a unidentified in trash, which always happens, and then you'll be set to 3 with Izzy. So you're guaranteed to get into a Diaboromon and do your shenanigans with these training cards. And the training cards can search everything in the deck except for the Armageddon. So you can grab your options, you can grab your Sonatas finally, because before we'd play Black Memory Boost.
Disaster.
They'd bottom deck 2 Sonatas every time. So always prioritize those. But yeah, defense training, very, very good. Now we're going to run into some kill spell options. We're going to go Catastrophe Cannon. And I know you're thinking, that's not a kill spell. That just de-digivolves and makes a token. Well, with the Diaboromon Ace effect, it is absolutely a kill spell.
Yes.
Because it's all turns once per turn. As soon as you make that token, you get to kill something.
You can de-digivolve a 6 and then delete a play cost of like 7 or 8 or even sometimes 9 or 10.
So essentially you're killing the level 6.
Yeah.
So really strong. And then one last option in the deck. We are playing 1 IFO. This can be dealer's choice. This could be Dimension if you want. This could be a couple different. Ultimate Flare.
Yeah, I was going to say
if you want to stay tribal, you know, whatever, with the pictures on the cards.
Tune it to your local scene.
Yeah, I find IFO's a good one. Or, I mean, this could easily be a second Armageddon if you want. Any like high 15k body that's just going to die, you know, going to kill something. So, yeah, man, that's it. That's going to be my Diaboromon. That's where I'm starting off this format. I've done some testing with it. It's a lot of fun. Might change a couple cards here and there, but this is a fun place to start. And yeah, enjoy it at your locals. I know every locals has a Diaboromon player.
At least one.
At least one. So shout out to them. Shout out to you. Thanks for watching. Check out our podcast. It's every week, Friday, 8 a.m. And we'll see you guys in the next one.